Gentlemen, welcome back to another video. My name is Stryker.
My name is Luba.
And we are the co-founders of Heart Rocket, an international matchmaking agency where we help men from the West meet and date and form long-lasting relationships with women from Eastern Europe. Now, this video today, we want to talk to you about your age as a client, and does your age matter to us? And this video was inspired by an older gentleman who was sitting next to Luba on a plane recently.
Terry, hello. You're now a subscriber.
Awesome.
So what happened? I was flying back from Dallas to Spain, and I was with a lovely gentleman next to me, and our interaction started very funny because I got as a gift a Texas pink hat. If you follow our other channel, Heart Rocket on the Go, you can see it there. And so we are sitting together and he just said, "Put it on." And I'm like, "Excuse me?" He said, "I just want to see." So basically we started talking and he said, "Oh, you're getting from Texas, blah, blah, blah." And he said, "What do you do for a living?" And I said, "I'm a matchmaker." And he like, interesting, very unusual work, because he went to Spain to fix some military stuff from United States. They invite him to Spanish military base. But anyway, and he was listening. I started telling him stories that I went to the wedding and everything, and like how great it was, and the guys, and about our channel. And he's sitting listening to me, and he like 2 times repeated, like, "I have 2 children, I have already grandkids." And I keep going, you know, when I get talking about the dating, I get very enthusiastic and active. I can't stop myself. And he say, and I can feel that he's bachelor. And he again, like, "Oh, you know, I have 2 children, I have 2 grandchildren." I said, "How old are you?" He said, "I'm 61. And I said, "Perfect." I said, the guy that I attended wedding, he's 62. And he said, "What? Like, really?" He was so surprised that, you know, it is possible for him. Like, he put himself in a category of like older gentleman. He never heard anything about dating Eastern European lady. He never heard of any Ukrainian dating websites, letter writing, nothing. Like, he just, for me, it was so unusual to speak with him, and kind of like in these 9 hours, like we were kind of like falling asleep, and they woke up, and then he was like throwing in me different questions, because like our first 10 minutes of conversation was shocking for him, right? He was like, he thought that he's an old man with 2 children, with 2 grandchildren. And now I'm telling that the guy in 62 having a wedding, and he's like on honeymoon and everything is great. So that is like why we started doing this video, because we are happy to work with any age, right?
Yeah.
Since like, or how to say, like, since the guy is ready for that, ready for challenges, ready for meeting a lady, willing to do that, want to do that, and of course, in the right shape, you know, in the right mind, in the right energy level, I would say.
I would say that the chances of you being too young is higher than somebody being too old. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if the guy is 23, 24, 25, we always talk them out of it and say, "This is not for
Papa
you right
Stryker
now."
say, "Dear."
Yeah, it's like you've got other things you need to be focusing on. But let's just say if you were like 65 years old, right? Like for us, it's not a problem at all, right? Because you know, we have clients from all different backgrounds. Like we have guys that their wife died 10, 15 years ago, guys that just been through a divorce, guys that went through a divorce years and years ago. They're taking care of, you know, their 2 daughters that they don't have time to go and date. So it's not one category of man, right? And that's the thing that we understand, because we see it from the inside out. It's very easy for other people to comment and say, "Well, the men are old and desperate," or "the guys are young and they can't get dates." No, there's so many different reasons why people go and do this, and age for us is certainly not a factor.
It's the minimum. As soon as the guy is realistic and reasonable,
Yeah.
like that's basically it.
Yeah, and age doesn't have anything to do with the guy being realistic, right? You can be 35 years old and also completely unrealistic, or you can be 65 years old and be completely unrealistic, right? So for that doesn't matter what the guy's age is. It's just that, is he willing to listen to us? Is he open to have an adventure? Is he open to have a new experience, to discover something about himself maybe, you know, and to learn and to, you know, experience the whole dating in a way that's going to, I guess, shape him in some form or another. And it doesn't matter how old you are for that to happen. It can happen when you're 30, or it can happen when you're 65 years old, right?
Yes.
The end goal for the guy is to be with a woman that respects him, that loves him, that they can not necessarily start a family, because if the guy's older, he may not want to have a family, but to continue from that point on forward and have a life that is full of joy and happiness with a woman. That's our job. That is all we care about.
You know what I always admire? Like I admired that in United States, because before I was traveling to Europe, but I was not living there. And in United States, I spent more time. And now I admire it here, like this desire to live. Like this desire to do stuff. Like American people are very active, and like I was actually surprised that this guy put him in a category that no, like I'm not good for marriage, you know, like 61, even though he's like pretty fit, like he do sports, like he's like not, I mean, he's average looking, but he was a nice decent guy. And it was the first probably for me guy that I met like in United States that like put him in a category of like I'm a grandpa, like what do you want from me, like I don't want to, like I don't know if I can even meet somebody. Guys, sorry to interrupt, I just want to invite you all to our Telegram closed community, the link in the description below. Why should you subscribe? Is because we're going to announce there soon invite-only events that we're gonna hold there. You can message me or Stryker or both of us directly and ask questions. It's the fastest way to reach out to us. You can get support from other members of the group who are our clients, potential clients who are already done it and successful clients. And also you can get to know our recent updates and news from the hard rocket and a little bit of a backstage videos. So I will be waiting for you there. You know, I really admire that in the United States that the guys and ladies, like everybody, is much more active and young spiritual, I would say, than in Ukraine, unfortunately. And before I didn't notice that in Europe so much as I notice it now. Like we live in Spain, and like all the people that we see on the street, like all these like couples, it's older people, like much older people. It's like people like over 70. In Ukraine, people really like at this age, they just like about like, okay, if nothing is hurting, is nothing, like I'm okay, I'm survived, but I'm thinking of a place in a cemetery. In US, like everybody, like people are getting married, people are starting their relationship, and I saw it so many times. So the vibe of the Western culture on this matter is different, and I think it's because people working very hard, and by the time that they get retired, they finally like they pay all their debt, the kids are grew up, and they want to do something, like something for them. They want to travel, they want to achieve something. And so that's why, as Stryker mentioned, like for us, when we speak with the guy, if he's willing to make himself better, listen to us, we call it coachable, right? Like we call it, like if the guy is coachable, we are super happy to help any age, especially if the guy is really looking for the life partner to travel, to enjoy life, to do stuff, to plant the garden, to, I don't know, raise the grandkids, anything, but something together. So we are very happy to support.
I think that naturally, you know, we want to find that companionship, right? We, like men and women, we want to find that sense of connection, you know, with the opposite sex, right? And I don't think that has an age to it. Like, I don't think that you get to a certain point in life where you go, you know what, I don't need that anymore. You know, I think as you get older, I think it probably becomes more important, and it's something that you don't want to miss out on. And it's something that you don't want to be on your deathbed one day going, you know, I should have done something. I should have been more open. I should have had given myself more opportunities to be happy with someone else, right? Because I believe that you can only be so happy by yourself, right? But you have to be happy by yourself in order to be happy with someone else. But it would just enhance the happiness that you've already created for yourself, right? I think we've talked about that before in other videos.
I have a little story that I was working with a lady. She had an agency in like other city, and then she got married. She was 55 and she got married with a guy who was 75. And he was like super like young spirit, like very active, like such a cool and great couple. I met them once. I've been in Tampa, and like incredible. So they bought RV. They have a beautiful house. They bought an RV. They bought 2 bicycles. They bought like 1 or 2 little dogs, like these York Terriers, and they just travel United States. They have place to live, but they also have this car that they enjoy. Like it's one of the nicest RV I saw, and it's incredible. So they like he's 75, but you would never say. Like you would never guess, you know, that he is that age, and he's like so positive and happy. So guys, if you're thinking about like, is it possible? Is it like worth it to try? And is it possible for you to meet a lady? Our answer is yes.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
And sorry, we have to notice that, like, because we're talking about this US trip, like, look at our cups. It's a gift from our from our very good friend with our Heart Rocket
Thanks,
logo.
Daniel.
Thanks. Cheers.
We'll see you in the next one.